Yes, I am addicted to streaming. What's up, everybody? I am watching myself watch my Twitter timeline. Um, I restarted the stream and I'm streaming everywhere now. We just got done hanging out on Twitch. I might be a little bit addicted to streaming. I wasn't going to go inside. I'm not going inside. It's too pretty of a day. And it's just tired of doing crafted videos, produced videos with flashing lights and stuff. This is a refreshing change of events. Um, so I'm gonna see what's happening in the world on Twitter. I'm gonna talk about it and also answer. I'm watching you, watching me, Dimitri. Let's see. There we go. I'm watching you, watching me. Let's get this popping. Let's put Twitter back on the screen. Wherever you're watching, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. What the hell is that? Can't be careful. Twitter's a wild, wild west. Some stuff will pop up on Twitter you're not ready for. Just warning you now. I'm checking out what's happening in the news, and I want to see. Oh, well, here's something. My dude Matt Lech from the Majority Report. He shared this. I absolutely agree. Donald Trump is a Nazi. Let me show you why.
You know it perhaps better than almost anybody. Lots of luck. You having a good time with your refugees? That's good. We want to have Omar. Yeah, he said Omar. That's a beauty. How the hell did she win the election? How did she win? One of the most vital issues in this election is the subject of refugees. You know it. You know it perhaps better than almost anybody. Lots of luck. You having a good time with your refugees? That's good.
With your refugees. This dude is a Nazi. Donald Trump is a fascist. And anybody who wants us to waste time arguing over the technical definition of fascism can kiss my ass. We don't have time to play those games. Donald Trump is a fascist. He said that at a rally over the weekend, obviously. Let's see what else is happening. And also, I want to keep an eye on your comments, what you're talking about. Let me put your comments over here. Tracy says she's with me. Keep streaming. I will. I'm addicted. So I'm going to keep streaming. As long as the sun is out, I'm out. Streams up. Let's go. Love you more, Rick. You've got good genes. Right. This was, let me find that clip. If somebody wants to drop me that clip on a DM or in a chat, that'll help me pull it up a lot quicker. But Donald Trump was talking about his supporters having good genes, as in superior genes, as in white supremacy. It's the same old Aryan Nation talking points. Let me take this down until I figure out what I want to talk about. Let's see what you, oh, shout out to Andrea sharing me on Twitter. Appreciate that. Dimitri said he's numb. Trump has desensitized America. I shared a clip on, nope, I didn't share it. My producer shared it. And he produced it. He put it together. It's my words, but his production. And if you get a chance on YouTube, go watch the V for Vendetta comparison video. And he did a great job with it. And what I was saying in that video is that we've been so desensitized. We are so desensitized to what's happening around us that 200,000 people are dead and we haven't risen up. But I get it. I understand it. Jess says she loves when I stream so much better than recorded. I do. I appreciate it. And I'm going to be honest with you, the video portion of our show, because we were producing it at such a high level, took hours. Hours. And then I realized, you know what? I prefer this, and I think the people prefer this. So let's do this. I appreciate this. Adoring Praise says, listening to me is helping me get through our workday. Appreciate it. Thank you for the streams. Thank you for watching the streams. Wow, he's such an outright racist, and his followers, they are, absolutely. Let's see what else is going on. Let me pull up Twitter again. Like, my Twitter is my work. So generally, it's safe for me to pull up Twitter. It's like 99% of the time it's safe to pull up Twitter. Every now and then something crazy will jump in my timeline. So do not judge me if something crazy jumps in the timeline. It won't be because of me. Let's see your comments. Let me see. What I'm going to do is take comments and slide them over here while we do this split screen. Slide right there. Okay. My producer sent me a link, and maybe I should just go to that, but I'm not opening up my text messages, though. You can see my Twitter timeline, but you can't see my text messages. Me and my wife are not appropriate for work. All right, let's see what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm back. Kind of addicted to this. I don't have a Ted Cruz sibling. No. But I did. I was scrolling just a few minutes ago, and somebody shared something. Somebody liked something, retweeted in my timeline something that was a little porn-esque. But I mean, that's online. You be on your timeline, minding your business, and somebody drop people having sex on your timeline. So you got to be careful of that. But other than that, my timeline is pretty wholesome. Oh, it was the Larry Kudlow. Yeah, that's true, but I don't want to read that. That's not what we need. Let me see what you guys are talking about. What software am I using? I don't know. It's like the secret sauce. I don't think I'm supposed to tell what kind of software I'm using. It's called Ecamm. I'm not gonna be that dude. Okay, let's talk about this. I know exactly what you're talking about. The doctors did not have an OBGYN license. The doctors who performed the hysterectomies, from what I'm understanding, in the detention centers where they perform the forced hysterectomies, the doctors did not have they were not even actual doctors. Now, I've talked about this extensively on the podcast and on the video show, but I just think what's important is for us to recognize how desensitized we are, because the fact that that's no longer the number one issue, and the fact that we haven't stopped everything until we know for certain that that is over, that is not only over, but that people have paid for what they did to those women in the detention centers. It's emblematic. It shows that we've been so desensitized, and that they can get away with even more. And the fact that they can get away with even more is a very terrifying notion. Carmen Jones says that they are sick. They very much are sick, and it's terrifying where we are. It's genocide. I agree. Thank you, Jess. I will pull that up. If you send that to me in my DMs, I can pull that up, because I think that statement really should show us what we're up against. We are really up against pure fascism, white Aryan. Oh, I got something I'll show you also. Let me be careful and go to DMs. Oh, here it is. I just go to my producer's DMs. He sent me this earlier today. I'm going to share this on the screen, and you tell me who this sounds like. Listen to the quote first. The streets of our cities are in turmoil. Our universities are filled with students that rebelling and riot. Well, that's a typo. That are rebelling and rioting. Communists are seeking to destroy our country, and the republic is in danger. Yes, danger within and without. We need law and order. Without law and order, our nation will not survive. Who does that sound like to you? It could just as well be Donald Trump, but it's Adolf Hitler. My producer fact-checked this. With the exception of the typos, this is a statement that was made by Adolf Hitler, and one for one, issue by issue, lie by lie, propaganda by propaganda, this could be Donald Trump. Now, if rhetoric is not enough for you to realize that we're dealing with a fascist, think about everything that's happening. He just declared New York, Seattle, and Portland as anarchist jurisdictions, trying to minimize and strip away funding from those cities. And those cities are as, first of all, two things. There's a difference between anarchy, the way that they're using it, and anarchism in terms of a political ideology. If you want to know more about anarchism in terms of a political ideology, there's some excellent podcasts out there. I'll get some names and send it to you, because there is a ideological philosophy that is a robust system of ordered governance that does not require states in so much as we know them right now. So I don't want you to conflate anarchy as Donald Trump is using it with anarchy in terms of the political ideology and philosophy. Donald Trump is using it in terms of scaring people to think that there's rioting, chaos, and violence. And the reason Adolf Hitler is on my screen still, if you're just tuning in, is because this quote from Adolf Hitler sounds exactly like Donald Trump, along with Donald Trump labeling these cities as anarchist jurisdictions, trying to make it seem like there's chaos, when those cities are as ordered and peaceful and safe as they have ever been. It is a political attempt to vilify particular cities that are controlled by Democrats for purposes of getting re-election, but as well as stripping the funding away from it, but also very much a totalitarian style move by Donald Trump. Let's see, let's go to the DMs. I'm not seeing your tweet yet, but yes, I am. Socialist Daughter wants to know if I'm doing streams daily now. Yeah, I am. I am. And especially when the sun is out, I'm going to be outside streaming like this. Let's get down to your questions. I'll be searched by federal troops any day now. You saw what happened in Portland, right? Portland, they were disappearing people off the streets. That's when it really, for me, was like, no, we really are dealing with a secret police that does the bidding of Donald Trump, of a particular leader who is a quote unquote strong man, not in the sense of I identify him as having strength, but his role in our society is a strong man, a demagogue. And it is too analogous to history, especially for people who are like always trying to tell us he's not really a fascist. No, what are we going to wait for? We're going to wait for us to find the mass graves. Glad to be back. I didn't stay away long at all. Let me go back to my producer's DMs. He sends me stuff all day long, and it's good. Let's talk about who he's considering. I don't know much about her, but let's put it on the screen. From MSNBC, Amy Coney Barrett, a federal appellate court judge, has emerged as one of the front runners to fill the Supreme Court seat vacancy left by the late Justice Ginsburg, three sources told NBC News. Let's pull up and see what we know about her so far. The Washington Post, Ruth Marcus discusses with, okay, let's listen to the clip then.
All right, the president said he will nominate a woman. Three sources tell NBC News that federal appellate court judge Amy Coney Barrett has emerged as a frontrunner to fill the vacant Supreme Court seat. Barrett was on the short list to replace retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy in 2018. The sources note that Barrett is vetted and is a, quote, known quantity, given her 2017 confirmation to sit on the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals based in Chicago. Republicans thought she performed well in that venue and defended herself against allegations that her religious beliefs as a Catholic would color her legal judgment. Two other judges under serious consideration to fill the Supreme Court vacancy. Barbara Lagoya is a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit based in Georgia, and the other is Amal Thapar, who sits on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit based in Cincinnati and is a favorite of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
I will tell you, Amy Coney Barrett obviously will have a lot of appeal for a lot of conservatives for a couple of different reasons. One, they know that she will not go south on any abortion ruling. They believe that unlike numerous nominees from Republicans in the past, that she will toe the hardest of lines on Roe v. Wade. Also, I suspect some of the political operatives will think that Democrats may attack her for her religious views, and some might, because she is a conservative, Orthodox, practicing Catholic, that she will be treated like an alien by some of her political opponents, and that will actually accrue to her interests. So I know there's a lot of talk about possibility.
Let me drop this. Here's what I want to say about this. Like I said on Twitch, twitch.tv/Benjamin P. Dixon. Go follow me over there. I would love to have 1,000 people watching Twitch in one place versus we have 760 people streaming right now. Totally cool. Love you, all of you, and I'll get more comments on the screen. This is what I said on Twitch earlier today. Republicans do identity politics the best. What they're going to do is pick a woman. They're probably going to pick like a Latina, a Hispanic woman who is not going to be a threat to the power structure of this country. Now that I got my technology working, I can play this for you. This is a clip of, okay, actually, that's a really good clip, David. And what we're going to do, David, is I'm gonna review it right here. And if you want to clip it and upload it for me, that'd be important. I want to play a clip real quick of Bill O'Reilly with then candidate for president John McCain. And in this clip, they identified very clearly what the power structure in this country was. America is run by white Christian men, is what he says. And I want you to listen to it. And I want you to hear it because it's the clearest, it is the clearest confession of white supremacy, male supremacy, and Christian supremacy in America. On Fox News, nobody batted an eye. It didn't make any major headlines. It was just a matter of fact. And I'll tie this back in a moment, but I want you to listen to this clip. Sun is out and it's hard to see.
Right. The second thing that on the left they're against is the temporary worker, as you know. We say 2 years, go back for a year, 2 years, go back for a year. They don't want that. They don't want them to have to go back.
But the strategy is
people can come and work.
Do you understand, and I'm not saying this in a condescending way, you're smarter than I am,
Sure.
But do you understand what the New York Times wants and the far left want? They want to break down the white Christian male power structure, of which you're a part, and so am I. And they want to bring in millions of foreign nationals to basically break down the structure that we have. In that regard, Pat Buchanan is right. So I break down the structure. Millions, and so am I, on the white Christian male power structure, of which you're a part, and so am I. And they want to bring in millions of foreign nationals to basically break down the structure that we have. In that regard, Pat Buchanan is right. So I say that you've got to.
You rarely hear somebody just outright confess that there is a power structure in this country. White, Christian, male, that sun is beaming. It's not as hot as it looks. It's actually really comfortable, but I just hate that it's got my skin like completely whitewashed. I digress. I'm sorry. They confess that America is run by white Christian men. So when we talk about white supremacy and people are like, oh, there's no such thing as white supremacy, Bill O'Reilly just confessed that. When people talk about the patriarchy, they're like, oh, the patriarchy, there's no such thing as a patriarchy. The man just confessed. White, male, and then when I talk about Christian supremacy, and they always talk about, oh, Christianity is under attack in America. No. In America, America is run by white Christian Men. Now, when we talk about this Supreme Court pick, and when I say Republicans do identity politics better than anybody else, this is what I mean. They will get a woman, Muslim, they don't even care if she wears a hijab, and they will appoint her to the bench just so long as she's not a threat or challenges that white male Christian power structure. So they'll play identity politics so long as you are not a person who fights against white supremacy, male supremacy, Christian supremacy. Do I need to play that clip again? It's right there. It's right there. This is who they are. This is what they're trying to protect. And it goes one step further. They will elect a woman, they will elect a lesbian couple, Muslim, hijab wearing, black woman to be the president of the United States just so long as she does not threaten the white Christian male power structure. Your identity alone is not a threat necessarily. It could be, but not necessarily. It is whether or not you agree that there should not be white supremacy, there should not be male supremacy, and that there should not be any specific religion supremacy, in this case, Christian supremacy, whether you're Catholic, Protestant. If you believe that those power system structures should be brought down into equilibrium with everybody else, then you are the enemy of the United States of America and its power structure, like Bill O'Reilly identified. So the woman that they're considering for the bench, they would gladly put a woman up. If they could find a Hispanic, a brown or black woman who's not a threat to the system, they would even more gladly do that. If they found a Muslim woman who's, because there's believe it or not, there's a couple of Muslim quote unquote scholars, I don't know how much of the scholars they really are, who really go out there and attack Islam on behalf of white Christian male supremacy. And if they could find that and wrap up an identity that makes it difficult for us to fight back against it, they would prefer that, because they no longer have to put white Christian men on the front line to protect white supremacy. They could put Candace Owens out there. They could put Larry Elder out there. They could put Dinesh D'Souza out there. They could put whoever fits a particular identity. You feel what I'm saying? All right, let me pull up this clip my producer sent me, because I think it's worthwhile watching. The link in Twitter, please. I'm saying it, and I know he's watching, so he could have just sent it to me. All right, and I want to get your more questions from you, and I think we could probably even take a phone call or two, possibly. No, I haven't seen Governor DeSantis' new bill. If you would like, send it to me on Twitter. My DMs are open, so you can send it to my DMs. Oh, yeah. Lee Clow. Like Clem, hang on. He said Lee A. Clow said Kim Klacik. Exactly like Kim Klacik. You can make all kinds of money in this country being the black face of white supremacy. Man, if I were to switch my beliefs and were to pretend like I was a conservative, I'd be a multimillionaire right now, because, you know, if I take my same skill sets and I took them to South Florida, sorry, that was a Miami Heat joke. If I did that and took it over to conservatism, man, I'd probably be worth $20 million right now. Let's see. Oh, Jesse Lee Peterson is definitely one. Let's see. Yep, the fact that they would have all white America asking, why can't all women and Muslim? Exactly. If they were able to find that individual, this is what they would say. They would say, why can't we all be like that judge? Trying to get more of your comments on here. Simplistic Grace said, oh man, comments are going by faster than a mug. A lot of comments across the 3 platforms. I can't even get up there. I keep trying to hit Simplistic Grace, and it won't let me hit it. If you want to check out our politics, I totally get it. You should come to the streams on Twitch. Twitch, we don't even really talk about politics. We just kind of vibe. And you really should, like, you know, you gotta That's why I'm doing Twitch the way I'm doing it. Twitch, we're talking about life. We're talking about, my weight loss journey. We're talking about love. We're talking about everything other than politics. And then politics gets thrown in every now and then. But you got to kind of detox from this because it's a lot going on. I wonder if I should bring this shade on me because, yep, Blizzard got it. The reference, it is LeBron James I was referring to. Can I get that on the screen, please? Thank you. I aged myself. How did I age myself? With the LeBron James going up to South Florida joke? Probably. All right, let's see what else is happening in the news. Let's see what's in my DMs. Mediaite. All right, let's do this. Let's put this on the screen and tell me what you all think of this.
Some people say dress your age. That's ridiculous.
Ugh, I hate ads, but here we go. We gotta watch
age is just an illusion. How you show up for the world, that's
my
what's real. What's your idea? I put it out there with the GoDaddy website.
The consequences of this vacancy on the direction of the country could be huge, because if you fill this vacancy, Obamacare is likely dead. So where is your plan to replace it?
So the president has taken a number of steps in the healthcare space. I would not agree, by the way, with your premise on hypocrisy, but we've gone through that. So I'll move on to your healthcare question. But with respect to Obamacare, the president is committed to protecting pre-existing conditions. He's alluded to his executive actions he can do in that regard. He has also taken a number of steps already on reducing drug prices, on making different types of plans, more affordable plans available to the American people, like association health plans. He's made telemedicine more available. So he is about reducing costs, expanding access, especially with the measures he's already taken. And he has said in the media in recent weeks that he will have more to say on healthcare as well. But he is 100% committed to protecting pre-existing conditions.
People are already voting. Where is the plan?
He has said, I mean, the people can get a pretty good preview of the way the president views healthcare in this country and on how to expand access and reduce costs, because he's taken a number of steps already. He will take a number of additional steps that he will outline very soon.
Listen, that's not that. Let's listen to what he said less than a week ago. This is what he said about having a plan ready.
You've been promising a new health care plan. I interviewed you in June of last year. You said the health care plan would come in 2 weeks. You told Chris Wallace that this summer it would come in 3 weeks. You promised an executive order on pre-existing.
I have it already.
But you've been trying to strike down pre-existing conditions.
I have it already, and it's a much better plan for you.
It's all ready. That was 6 days ago. Where is the plan, Brian?
The president will roll it out when he's ready to do so, but it will focus on expanding access, reducing costs.
Wait,
and it's important to
Brian, it doesn't matter where is the plan? We're 6 weeks from the election. He'll roll it out when he's ready. People are already voting. He's been promising this over the summer. He's been promising this for years. He's asking the Supreme Court in a moment that it will get soon to get rid of Obamacare. He has to have something to replace that if he's going to make good on his promises. Where is the plan?
He has already eliminated the individual mandate. He has already lowered prescription drug costs. He has already expanded health care options and insurance options. He has already expanded telemedicine. He'll have more to say on the subject very soon. I understand
people
it's
with
pre-existing
condition. No, people. Well, there is no plan. These are executive orders. And on the issue of pre-existing conditions, this isn't when the president is talking about a plan. It seems to be that he's talking about a comprehensive plan. People are concerned. You heard this last week from voters. They're concerned about their pre-existing conditions. You're looking at an estimated 12 million people during this COVID pandemic. It becomes increasingly important who may be losing their employer-provided insurance. So where is the plan that they need and that they should have if we listen to what the president has said? Where is the plan?
Well, I appreciate your persistence. You've now asked me the same question a number of times, and I'll give you the same answer.
I've gotten the answer no times. I've not actually gotten an answer. That's why I'm asking again, Brian.
Issue a more comprehensive view, but you can, as I've said, you can get a preview already from the many comments that he's made and the many actions he has taken. He is committed to protecting pre-existing conditions. He is committed. He has already lowered costs. He has already expanded access.
When will he release the plan? Brian?
He will release
When?
it very soon, Brianna, and he will discuss
He's been
it with the
promising
American
very soon,
people,
and he's
he'll be
blown
very
past his own
transparent.
deadlines. Before the election?
He will be very soon. He'll be very transparent on this policy as he is with all of his other policies. The American people will never have to guess where President Trump stands on a very important issue.
They will certainly have to guess where he stands on this issue. Let's listen to what he has said over the summer about the timing of his plan.
We're signing a health care plan within 2 weeks, a full and complete health care plan that the Supreme Court decision on DACA gave me the right to do. So we're going to sign an immigration plan, a health care plan, and various other plans. And nobody will have done what I'm doing in the next 4 weeks. I do want to say that we're going to be introducing a tremendous health care plan sometime hopefully prior to the end of the month. It's just about completed now. So over the next 2 weeks, I'll be pursuing a major executive order requiring health insurance companies to cover all pre-existing conditions for all customers. That's a big thing.
I'll ask you again, Brian, the plan is long overdue. Why is the plan not out?
Brianna, it'll be out very soon. I don't know if you expected me to bring it with me here to this interview, but the president will release it on his timeline very soon, and he will focus on
Brian,
reducing
he's not
costs,
releasing.
expanding
Brian,
access.
to be clear, Brian, he put his timeline out there. That's completely false. What you're saying, he's not releasing it on his timeline. He's blown past his timeline. I mean, is there even a plan?
It's his timeline. So there is a plan. He will describe it clearly to the American people. It will reduce costs and expand access and protect pre-existing conditions. And the American people will have a very good look at it, and they'll be very pleased with it.
How is he going to?
That gave me enough time to fix whatever was going on with my camera. The president, the Republican Party does not have a plan. Let's be sure about something. The Republican Party does not have a plan for replacing Obamacare. All they had was the ability to repeal it. They could break it apart. They did all these things to tear down Obamacare, but they had nothing to replace it with because Obamacare is a free market solution. They call it socialized medicine, but it most certainly is not. It is a free market solution that actually came from the Heritage Institute, the Heritage Foundation, and was first put into motion by Mitt Romney, a Republican. So what President Obama did with Obamacare was he co-opted a conservative piece of legislation. And because of that, Republicans do not have anything else to offer except their desire to repeal Obamacare at all costs. And this is literally why you will not get a plan from conservatives. They had years. They had all 8 years of the Obama administration to come up with a plan. They had the House, the Senate, and the White House between 2017, and 2018. They tried to repeal portions of it. John McCain saved the day when he came in with his thumbs down. But they do not have a plan because they ideologically cannot go any further right than Obamacare and offer something to the people that's a sufficient replacement for Obamacare. They are not going to give us Medicare. There are other plans out there, mind you. There are literally other plans out there that would be better for America than Obamacare. But they are not going to give us Medicare for all, which would be better than Obamacare. But since they won't give us Medicare for all, and they can't do anything better than Obamacare from their ideological perspective, that's why they don't have a plan to offer us. And that's why he couldn't answer her question, no matter how many times she asked him the same question over and over and over again. So good luck, Republicans. You're not going to have an answer to that because you don't have an answer to that because Obamacare is a free market solution for health care. I don't actually agree with it. I prefer Medicare for all. But to be sure, to be certain, Obamacare is better than what President Trump is trying to offer, which is literally nothing. He's trying to take away the protections that Obamacare gave. I was on Obamacare 1 year and it was better than not having insurance at all. It's still not affordable for some people, specifically because of the way that Republicans have undermined it at every single stop. They would not do the Medicaid expansion across several states. And in those states specifically, the premiums went up tremendously. So it's like Republicans, this is what they do. They break a piece of legislation and then they turn and say, hey, look, it doesn't work. And that's what Donald Trump is trying to do here. So he doesn't have a plan. He won't have a plan. He's trying to wait till everybody forgets it in the news cycle. All right, let's see what else we got going on in the news today. Chop that up for me, David. I don't know why my camera was going in and out. It's it's unnerving me a little bit. So I'm hoping that it doesn't go out. Everybody go over to twitch.com. It didn't go out at all during Twitch stream. Twitch.com/Benjamin P. Dixon. Twitch.tv/Benjamin P. Dixon. Follow me over there where we'll be doing more streams like this. Let's see what else is happening in the news. What are you talking about? All Trump offers is, I'll let you know in 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks, he reads the message again. Yep. Yes, thank you. It is twitch.tv. I'm so new to Twitch, I don't even know the URL. I sent the DeSantis tweet. It's awful. Steve, okay, I'm going to look up your DeSantis tweet. Let me see if I can find that. My mentions always look like a war zone, so it's a little hard to find. See, everybody loves those recaps. I mean, it was like 1,000 people in here for a second. Okay, I got the tweet from Jess. Let me follow you, Jess, so I can get your tweets going forward. This is a clip of Donald Trump talking about the genetic superiority of his followers. Nothing fascistic about that at all. There's totally nothing fascistic about the supreme race. Right? Aryanation kind of talk. Let's take a listen to this man and his bigotry. Bro, you got a long introduction. I just want to see the clip.
You're going to win so much, and you're going to send Jason to the U.S. Senate? And you're going to keep winning and winning and winning. You're going to win on trade. You're going to win on the military. You're going to win on everything you touch. Minnesota's going to keep on winning. And you're going to get tired of winning, because Minnesota doesn't want to win all the time. Your football team is going to win in the Big Ten, they say, right? Now, we're going to keep on winning in Minnesota, and you're going to get so tired. You're going to say, Jason, please, Jason, go to the president. See him in the Oval Office. Stop him from winning. We're winning too much in Minnesota. We can't stand it, Jason. Please, Jason, stop him from winning so much for Minnesota. We can't take it. We're not used to it, because we went through years and their families. They were tough and they were strong. You have good genes, you know that, right? You have good genes. A lot of it's about the genes, isn't it? Don't you believe? The racehorse theory, you think we're so different? You have good genes in Minnesota.
Welcome to 24/7 Eyes. This is our HQ, where we have all the monitors to be able to check what's going on every single cable news channel across America. We always need.
I don't know if I'm gonna trip that much about that particular clip. It is laden with white supremacy. It is, but no, you're right. No, that's a racist ass. See, that's my mistake. See, what I end up doing is I try to act in good faith, and if I take him precisely pedantically about what he said, then I'm like, he wasn't talking about all white people. But clearly Donald Trump knows how to dog whistle enough to say that and communicate to the Aryan nation, across the world, and they will interpret it that way. So my bad for letting my guard down for a second. This is a dog whistle to all of the superior race people. See, I told you, my problem is that I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt when I shouldn't. And Donald Trump never deserves the benefit of the doubt, because he has shown that he will play any race card, any dog whistle. He will divide us to the point of the scorched earth. So yeah, let me not even trip like that. Yes, it is dog whistling. I let my guard down for a minute. The racism is out in the open. Dimitri says, I agree. Get on the screen. Hello. I want that comment on this. There it is. Let's see what else you're talking about. He's more of a bullhorn than a dog whistle from Twitch. A blowhorn, to be precise. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Everybody take a few seconds here and do me a favor and share the stream. Let's push these numbers up. I would appreciate it if you guys were watching via Twitch, twitch.com, twitch.tv, twitch.tv/Benjamin P. Dixon. I'm attempting to go live on Instagram as well with the same stream. Let's see if that works. But while you're sharing, while you're liking, while you're subscribing, let's get another clip. Oh, okay, Steven, I see you. I found you, and I'm going to follow you now on Twitter. And let's get that clip. Let's see what that media is. Really? Okay, let's put this up on the screen. This is Ron DeSantis from Florida. He is a problematic conservative, to say the least. He said on Twitter, today I announced bold legislation that creates new criminal offenses and increases penalties for those who target law enforcement and participate in violent or disorderly. Disorderly is whatever they decide it is. Violent or disorderly assemblies. Clearly a violation on our right to assemble. Clearly a violation because the police are capable of making it disorderly at the drop of a dime. The people who started the riots, all the riots that you saw, they were initiated by police officers. But let me keep reading. We will always stand with our men and women in uniform who keep our community safe. That's a damn lie. Police don't keep our community safe. This is not The Walking Dead, where if Rick and Michonne aren't standing on top of the gate, that the barbarians and the walkers will get in. That's not what the police do. The police don't keep you safe. The police show up after the fact. But I digress. Let's see what's on this legislation. Combating Violence, Disorder, and Looting and Law Enforcement Protection Act. New criminal offense to combating rioting, looting, and violence. Prohibition on violent or disorderly assemblies. It's now a third-degree felony. Prohibition on obstructing roadways. So if you protest in the streets, it's a third-degree felony. Prohibition on destroying or toppling monuments. Oh, this is a white supremacist act. Tear down every single monument to white supremacy in this country. Second-degree felony. Prohibition on harassment in public accommodations. That means if you go to a place and you protest, someone's having lunch and you protest them or you disrupt them, I'm gonna get some chapstick a minute. Then that is what? What is that? A first-degree misdemeanor. RICO liability? Get the hell out of here. RICO liability attaches to anyone who organizes or funds a violent, disorderly assembly. RICO was actually put into law as a way of prosecuting the mob and the people connected to the mob. Generally, it's used on the federal level. I don't follow state legislation enough to know how many states use it as a state level, on the state level. But this is what they're saying. They're saying now they probably will come and get me if I was in Florida and I tweeted something positive about a protest, and they could use RICO, even though I wasn't out at the protest, they could use RICO to come and get me because I supported it. And certainly if you organized it. Let's keep going. Increased penalties, mandatory minimum jail sentences, offense enhancements, and citizen and taxpayer protections measure. No defund the police permitted. Prohibit state grants or aid to any local government that slashes the budget for law enforcement services. So now if you cut, thank you for sending this, Stephen. I'm gonna zoom in. If you cut the budget of the police, no, he's saying he's going to prohibit you in the state of Florida from ever cutting the budget of the police, which means an ever increasing budget situation for police officers. Nothing fascistic about that at all. Sarcasm, obviously. Victim compensation waives sovereign immunity to allow a victim of a crime related in a violent or disorderly assembly to sue local governments for damages where local government is grossly negligent in protecting. Waives sovereign immunity to allow victims. Let me read this again. Interesting. I'm looking at the sovereign immunity and I'm thinking more of the ability of police, the protections that are given to police officers. But what they're saying is now they're going to allow the local municipality and city to actually be sued itself as a direct connection to these actions. This is how he strongholds the city. Government employee benefits terminates state benefits and makes anyone ineligible for employment by state or local government if convicted for or participating in a violent or disorderly assembly. Again, they will define disorderly however they damn well please. Finally, bail, no bond or bail until first appearance in court if charged with a crime related to. So this is their way. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut that one short. Let me scroll up so you can see that one more. That's the final one. This is their reaction to how we organize now, because we organize around the world, particularly this country, to make sure that we raise enough bail money so that people who are arrested in protest can get out immediately. And this is what it's saying: no bond or bail until first appearance in court if charged with a crime related to participating in or a violent disorderly assembly, rebuttable, I guess, presumption against bond or bail after first appearance. Yeah, this is egregious. This is there are some things in here that are clearly unconstitutional, but they do know now that they have the Florida Supreme Court. Obviously, it's a conservative court. They have the Supreme Court as soon as Donald Trump makes an appointment. And so even a legal challenge to this is going to be extremely difficult to win, even though it's clearly unconstitutional. It's an infringement on our rights, our right to assembly. It's an infringement on our bail. It's an infringement on the First Amendment, our right to free speech. It's an infringement in so many ways. And the sad reality is that they very well may be able to get away with this because they have stacked the courts. And I think that's why it is vitally important that people understand the seriousness of the moment and why so many of us are in full combat mode, rhetorically speaking, with regard to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat. Because replacing that and filling that with someone who is ideologically a radical conservative, they will rubber stamp all of these fascistic bills and executive orders that are being passed across the country in order to infringe on our right to protest this police state. That's what's going on. Thanks for that. I did not know that. Thank you. Let me drop that off the screen. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat room. Let me answer Lisa. Lisa may have gotten, and anyone who came in late, what I was just reading, what I'll pull back on your screen. This is the Combating Violence, Disorder, and Looting and Law Enforcement Protection Act that was announced by Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. He is a Republican. He is a moron. He is a complete moron. And he's announced this legislation, and we'll see if it passes. But Florida is a conservative-led legislative body, and so it's very likely that it's going to pass. There are some constitutional challenges to this, but if you win those constitutional challenges, it's predicated on you having a balanced and fair court on the state level as well as the federal level. And as we know, the Supreme Court, as not even the Supreme Court, but just throughout the federal judiciary, Donald Trump has made so many appointments, so many conservative appointments, that it's very likely and very possible that it won't even reach the Supreme Court because of the conservative judges that he's already appointed to the bench. That's the context of that, if anyone tuned in late. All right, let's see what else is going on. Let me check my messages, see what else is happening in the world. If you have something that you think we should go over, send it to me in a DM on Twitter. My DMs are open. And that gives me the ability to just get it directly from you. Let me check my timeline. I might as well put this up so you can see the scroll. It's you can see what I'm working on. No Name is a rapper. I love No Name. You should check her out. This is wild. It's not premarital sex if y'all never get married. Follow me for more biblical loopholes. This is what my timeline is like. I do go back and forth between really serious stuff and completely ridiculous stuff. What's Joe Biden talking about? I don't know if I'm ready to pull Joe Biden up on my screen yet, guys. I support him, but I just don't know if I'm there yet. Shout out to everybody who's watching live. We have 759. I'm not sure where everybody's coming from, but if you're on, tell me where everybody's from. Where you from? Shout out. Let me take this down and put you up. I don't know if this is my long gun, but it's loud as hell. Can y'all hear all that? Yeah, these are moving so fast, I can't even keep up. Chicago's in the house. Central Missouri, Florida. Frank is here from Chicago. Rochester, New York. It's funny now that I'm back in Boston, it's like saying, I got to think of New York as down south now. It's crazy. Idaho's in the house. Somebody else from Chicago. Jesus Christ. Get on the screen. Florida. Texas. What's up, Texas? California. I see you, California. All right, while y'all are talking, let me pull up a couple more. So earlier today we covered, and I covered it on the podcast as well as the Twitch stream, and it's probably worthwhile saying again, the Department of Justice labeling New York, Seattle, and Portland as anarchist jurisdictions. The irony of this is that the way they define anarchy, none of those cities remotely reflect any level of anarchy, any interpretation of anarchy. The academic definition of anarchy, the politicized definition of anarchy, none of these cities remotely reflect it. But what they are they are democratically run cities. And they are cities where protests have not been brutally suppressed except by, correction. New York cracked down hard as bricks on protests. Portland, you had federal agents crack down on protests. And I think you had the Portland PD out there cracking down. This is the absurdity of it. The absurdity of it is never enough for the fascist in chief, Donald Trump. Video after video. I don't think I've made a mistake that big and long, because I had to just really put myself back in the mindset of this summer. Video after video, the police cracked down so brutally on people. They were out there in Seattle. I remember something from Seattle. There's a clip of a soccer mom, a wine mom, in her pink bike helmet being tackled. White woman being tackled by like 7 police officers. I can't wait for fall and winter to really get here to get rid of these flies. Forgive me for the tangent. So Seattle, you had a brutal crackdown. Portland, we saw a brutal crackdown. New York was nonstop brutal. They were beating bicycle messengers, delivering messages and delivering food. They were just out there randomly hitting. It was a police riot all summer long. And so by the very definition, the erroneous definition that Donald Trump uses in terms of law and order and anarchy, it wasn't enough for the police to brutally crack down on protesters. He's still trying to punish the cities because the protests happened in the first place. If you can't, let me start that sentence over. We have to be able to reasonably see the type of threat that Donald Trump is, in that the brutal crackdown that we saw over the summer, where the police in, was it Buffalo, New York? They pushed a 75-year-old man to the concrete so hard that you could hear his head crack, reverberate through the square, through the plaza. But that wasn't good enough for Donald Trump. So now he's labeled these cities as anarchist jurisdictions so that he can strip funding away from those cities as a way of punishing those cities. One, because they're democratically led cities. Two, because protests have been happening on a regular basis despite the police brutality. And three, because it gives him political capital. He knows that he can get a political advantage doing these things. We're dealing with some really tumultuous times. We're dealing with a fascist, and I don't care if he is your precise definition of fascism. Kiss my butt with that. I know we're streaming to a whole lot of places, so I'm gonna watch my mouth. Hang on a second. I'm so bugged out by that because it has been so busy. It's been so ridiculously wild in terms of politics, the presidential election, everything. I really had, for a split second there, forgot about how brutal the police cracked down, specifically in New York, specifically in Portland, and specifically in Seattle. And those are the cities that Donald Trump targeted to defund them because those cities are anarchist jurisdictions. The biggest threat, the people who will be targeted the most by Donald Trump won't be, and no offense to quote unquote liberals or neoliberals or centrists. I'm not here on the stream, not today, out to argue neoliberalism, centrism. But I am going to say something. I don't think, unless you consider yourself a centrist and you're out there protesting, the people who are really going to be targeted the most by this administration are those of us who really do hold radical economic ideas, radical, quote unquote, because they're not radical by international standards at all. Those of us who hold, quote unquote, radical political ideas about how we should organize our government, socialists, definitely communists. Donald Trump has found political capital in targeting us, even to the point of killing us. And we're going to be the ones who are going to be penalized and brutalized the most, especially those who have the unmitigated gall, from Donald Trump's perspective, to go out into the streets and protest. Those of us who sit comfortably at home. I mean, I might get targeted because I got a big enough audience and I say shit on Twitter that gets as many likes and retweets as Donald Trump. Sometimes, not all the time. Every now and then, I'll say something. Hell, I should bring up some of my wildest stuff. So I'll be targeted, even though I'm at home comfortably. They got my IP address. They know where I am. I'm sure I'll be targeted and charged with in a RICO case. But most certainly, the people who are literally out there protesting, which generally have been, like, in the long haul over the summer, there've been like a lot of leftist socialists. He's going to crack down so hard on us. And I say that not to make us afraid, but I say that because I want us to know that we gotta get rid of Donald Trump at all costs. We can't take it as a statement of virtue to say, I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. You can't make me afraid of Donald Trump. And because I'm not afraid of Donald Trump, I'm not going to fight Donald Trump. I think that is that's a tremendous folly. a grave error. I'm not afraid of Donald Trump, which is why I will fight him head on. I am afraid for my friends and my comrades who are out in the streets, who have taken the risk of COVID-19 and say it's worth it for me to be in the streets protesting. I'm afraid for you all because Donald Trump has found political capital in targeting you specifically and us generally. I'll reach out to Killer Mike. Let's see. I got a DM about a video. Let's see what that video is about. Let's see. Who sent me the tweet? Who sent me the... Appreciate all of you. Everyone who's watching, wherever you're watching from. Wherever you're watching from, let's cross-pollinate. Take a second while I get the next clip. If you're on Facebook, go to Twitch and follow me on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, go to Twitch and follow me on Twitch. If you're on Twitter, go on Twitch and follow me on Twitch. And then go to YouTube and follow me. Just follow me everywhere so we can keep... Okay, here's a clip that, you know, F it. I haven't put full transparency. I was definitely not a Biden supporter in the primaries. I am a Bernie bruh. I have been supporting Bernie Sanders for quite some time. Very upset that he lost the primaries, but I understand what time it is. We've got to get rid of Donald Trump. To that end, I've never said a positive thing on my show about Joe Biden. I just don't talk about Joe Biden. I've just gone after Donald Trump because, well, that's the right thing to do. There's plenty of reason for me to cover Donald Trump all the time. Matter of fact, I haven't played a single positive clip. I haven't even played a clip of Joe Biden on my show. This said he's talking about COVID-19 and we don't have time for games or my moral quandary. Time out for that. Let's take a listen to Joe Biden talking about COVID-19.
Able to visit their elderly parent.
Hang on. Rotate my screen and let's listen to Joe.
Unfortunately, America is going to have to speak to this quickly. Going to reach a tragic milestone. 200,000 deaths recorded as of today because of the coronavirus. 200,000 deaths all across this nation. And it means there are empty chairs and dining room tables and kitchen tables that weeks and months ago were filled with a loved one, a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister. And in many cases, the pain was made a lot worse because, and I've had people tell me this and close friends of the family tell me, because they were unable to visit their elderly parent or grandparent in a nursing home just before they passed away. Don't know how many stories I've heard about from the nurses saying they held up a cell phone to the patient on a ventilator in the bed about to pass, Mr. Mayor, and that's all they could speak to. And so, the fact that people weren't able to hold funeral services where family and friends could pray together, remember the loved ones they lost, and place them in the hands of God. And so many of the rituals we have come to help us cope with pain and loss, to help us honor the lives of those we've loved, to help us come to closure, just aren't available in the middle of this pandemic. What worries me now is we've been living with this pandemic for so long, I worry we're risking becoming numb to the toll that is taken on us and our country and communities like this. We can't let that happen. We can't lose the ability to feel the sorrow and the loss and the anger for so many lives lost. We can't let the numbers become statistics, a background noise, just a blur that we see in the nightly news. 200 moms, dads, sons, daughters, grandparents, uncles, aunts, friends, co-workers who are no longer with us. And so many of them.
Yeah. Wrong one. Hit the wrong thing. Hang on. one of the things that I feel like I have gotten so caught up in the presidential election that I have failed to do on a regular, consistent basis is to literally sound the alarm, consistently sound the alarm about COVID-19, particularly how numb we've gotten to it. The fact that we lose 1,000 people a day. We lose 1,000 people a day, and we continue as if that's normal. We did the quick math last night. It's about 98 people who die a day in a fatal car crash. That has become normalized. 1,000 people are dying a day. Sometimes it does drop to like 300, but then sometimes it jumps up to 1,500 a day. And on average, it's somewhere between 750 and 1,000 people that we lose a day to COVID-19. And because of how ridiculous this particular timeline that we're living in has become, I've gotten used to the fact that we don't leave our house. And that became normalized, when at first it was like, the reason I'm not leaving my house is not normal. But now it is. Our ability as human beings, this is what I mean, our ability as human beings to suffer is something that is constantly manipulated by everybody in power, by the powerful. And because they need us to keep making them money, they've done everything they could to help normalize 1,000 people dying a day from COVID-19. They politicize wearing masks, Trump administration specifically. They have normalized the idea of sending our teachers and kids and family members back into these petri dishes called public schools, schools in general. They've insisted the thing that we need to do is open America back up. And y'all, 200,000 people are dead. How many people have to die before we say enough? How many people have to die before we literally say, thank you? I just read it. They've cut off the additional unemployment benefits, and unemployment only lasts in some states. When I was living in Georgia, it only lasted 3 months. So you get 3 months of unemployment. Well, hell, most people lost their jobs at the very beginning of this pandemic. So their unemployment has run out. We have food pantries and bread lines backed up for miles on the highway. And this has become our new normal. And the way it's become our new normal is because people are able to have a modicum of normalcy, whatever your normalcy is. You either accepted a new normal or you demanded to maintain your old normal. Either way it goes, we've all become desensitized. I have accepted a new normal where I don't leave my house but maybe once a week. Other people have fought viciously to maintain their old normal, in that they take the risk and continue to go to bars, continue to go to clubs, continue to go to, wherever. Some people have been forced into not even being able to be safe, being forced into their old normal because they are the frontline workers. They are the essential workers, grocery store workers. They didn't even have the luxury of protecting themselves. And some of them are dying for minimum wage jobs. And the real question is when the hell will enough be enough? How many people actually have to die before we collectively throw these tables over and collectively say that this government has abdicated its responsibility to protect us, and has, in fact, instead not only abdicated their responsibility, but actively engaged in behaviors that led to our demise? to the tune of 200,000 people. Will it be 300,000? Would that be enough? Will it be 400,000? Would that be enough? 500,000? I don't know. I don't know what number it'll be enough. All right, let me check. Let's take a pause. I want to check more messages. Okay, let's get patreon.com/the BPD shows, where you can go and get the full hour podcast. I guess you're not going to need a full hour podcast if you're streaming with me this long. Ugh. Am I cannibalizing my own platform? Patreon.com/the BPD show. I enjoy doing this though. Let's see what else you guys sent me. Yeah, I saw the text. Thank you. Let's see what else am I missing. We talked about the Hitler. I got to do some deep diving into some of these stories that broke today about the FinCEN files. I haven't read through it, but it is on my radar. For a couple people have been asking me about it. I will review that and be ready to discuss it either tomorrow or Wednesday. Man, that sun is beaming. It's not hot. It feels good though. I like this comment. I'm gonna pull this comment up on the screen. Well, we got a super chat. Let's see what the super chat says. That's not working. Stephanie says, check your Twitter for a clip with Trump. For Stephanie, do me a favor and drop it in my DMs. It's really hard for me to, I get so many notifications. So drop it in my DMs. I'll check and bring it on the screen. Thank you for that, for putting it up on the screen. I want to put this tweet up on the screen. In reference to our conversation that we're having right now, Top Cat said, trust me, there is a bean counter that has already put the projections together. Money versus lives. COVID is now a pre-existing condition. That's exactly the calculus that's going on. The calculus that's going on is how many lives can they get away with before we snap. Now, I am doing my due diligence to be kind temporarily to Democrats because we got to get rid of Donald Trump. But there's some complicity here with every single elected official of every single party, political persuasion. It is the ruling elite of this country, the oligarchs, the people who are billionaires, the people who have made $500 billion in wealth since this pandemic. They are doing just fine while we are, and I can't even say we because I'm safe in my home. The essential workers are dying to keep funneling money into the hands of these rulers, of these principalities in high places. They are literally shoveling human lives into the furnace of this economy because they were too selfish to wait a damn month. I got a plane going over. They could not shut down for a month for us to be safe, for us to save lives. So there is a calculation that's going on right now. There's a bean counter who's out there trying to figure out what's the threshold. They've already seen the threshold. They already see that we can manage 1,000 lives a day and not crumble and not have a full-blown revolution. The real question is what death total will we, and because they have politicized it, you have people, QAnon people, anti-maskers who are like, those aren't real numbers. So now we not only have to overcome our natural propensity to be desensitized to really horrific situations, but we also have to overcome the politicization of this, where half of the voting electorate, not only just half the voting electorate, some of our friends who are liberal, progressive, who are out like, hey, if it gets me, it gets me. I don't really believe that many people have died, whatever the case may be. We have to overcome our own personal propensity to be desensitized to atrocities, as well as the politicization of this and the apathy and the disbelief. And that's how they've gotten away with 200,000 people dying. When if we had shut down properly for a month and everybody wore a mask, maybe we would have lost 50,000 people. All right, let's keep rocking. I've got a few more minutes. I am getting a little tired, but I got a few more minutes in me. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, I'm gonna put some of your comments. 330 million person eugenics program. That's terrible. It's true though. They are really they haven't admitted it. They haven't admitted it, but clearly they're going with herd immunity, right? Does everybody understand that we have been thrown into a herd immunity strategy? They will never admit it. Donald Trump accidentally called it herd mentality last week, but no, they're clearly going with a herd immunity. And think about it this way: do you think there is a single member of the ruling elite, whether they be politicians or billionaires and oligarchs, who aren't quarantining even better than I am? Like I got a pretty decent ass quarantine going on here. Like, you know, we've had takeout 4 times in 7 months. And that's only when we go and I carry and I spray alcohol in the air when I'm going around. When they hand me a bag, I spray them. They get a little bit of alcohol. Like, I got a pretty serious quarantine going on here. Do you think that there's a single ruler of this world, oligarch, billionaire, who doesn't have the top of the line quarantine going on? Their children are safely being homeschooled, and yet they have thrown all of us who don't have the luxury that I have to do all my work from home. They've thrown all of us into the furnace of this economy. So it's a level of hypocrisy that they just don't give a damn about us. They really don't give a damn about us. And they don't care if it takes 1 million people, so long as they keep hitting their quarterly profit margins. And this is a problem that is not endemic just to the Republican Party. It is a problem endemic to our political system in general, which is inclusive of the Democratic Party. It is certainly a problem that is exacerbated by the way Donald Trump has politicized and managed COVID-19. I think what we would have saw in a Clinton administration, I'm pretty confident what we would have saw in a Clinton administration would have been the absolute most efficient management of this. Not necessarily out of concern for us as individuals, but out of the concern of our system and our stability and our economy. The very same thing that Donald Trump is concerned about, but his solution was, let's have herd mentality, herd immunity. Any other administration, even dumb behind George W. Bush, systems devastating, Middle East devastating, warmongering, 1 million murdering Iraqi, can't put a coherent sentence together. George W. Bush would have managed this crisis significantly better than Donald Trump. And I don't put a moral judgment on that to say that they would have actually cared about us more. I put a cold-hearted calculation that their solution to make sure that this economy doesn't tank would have been to just be efficient in managing the crisis from December. Either way, if Donald Trump had not been president, I don't care who you put in there, there would be 150,000 people alive today that are not alive. Let's see what we got going on. Let me check these messages around the place. Let's do something different. I want to lighten them up. Let me see. Send me a funny tweet, or what made you laugh today? What made you laugh today? And let's see what you're talking about in the conversation. Did I see the black teenager who had COVID and had a heart attack? I did not see that. God forbid. I did see the 21-year-old, but this was a white 21-year-old who had a heart attack because of COVID. They had no symptoms whatsoever. They were asymptomatic, but it gave them cardiovascular stress, and they had a heart attack. And a lot of people are dying. Brian Smith, I'm familiar with this quote, but there's a word missing here from Fred Hampton. Post it again because I want to share it. I want to see what everybody else is talking about. Absolutely, we are being used. We're being used in a way. I'll say this, and then please, because after I say this, we're going to need a laugh. Maybe I'll fire up the grill, because what I'm about to say is really going to push you. In a normal timeline, we would have overthrown this government already. In a rational, sensible existence that's not at the level of absurdity that we are at right now, we would not tolerate 200,000 people being dead because of the politicization and inefficiency and abject idiocy of our government. Even in our fiction novels, in our fiction movies, we would never dream about writing a fiction novel that says 200,000 people were killed because of the inefficiency of a government and the people chilled. Come on, man. Really. Check out the YouTube video today about V for Vendetta. In V for Vendetta, the main character, V, is fiction, but the man tore down the entire authoritarian regime that took over the UK, blew up Parliament and Big Ben, over 80,000 lives. And when we watched that, we said, wow, 80,000 people, that's crazy. We would never sit around and watch that happen. It's fiction. It's a little absurd. We're at 200,000 people, which means reality is more absurd than fiction. So if we were in a more reasonable, less absurd timeline, we would have clearly seen and declared that this government has abdicated its responsibility to its constitutional responsibility to us. And we would have already been on the doorsteps of the Capitol, forcing this entire regime to step down. But we didn't expect, I don't say that in any, two things. I don't say that in order to push you to do anything. Because look at where I am. I'm in the safety and the comfort of my backyard, streaming in HD with 628 people. Had 1,000 earlier. 628 people listening to me. I myself am not on the Capitol steps burning a flag, leading whatever I thought would be a revolution. So I don't say this to pump anyone up to do anything. Here's my advice I give everybody. Never be a revolutionary of one, because they will kill you, jail you, and everything will go back to normal. I don't say that to pump you up. I say that because I don't think we understood our capacity for grief and absurdity and tragedy. We absorb so much all the time where we become desensitized to an unbelievable level of death and suffering and misery and pain. And in a selfish kind of way, I'll talk about me. I don't want to talk about me. No, I don't want to speak that into my life. Let's talk generically. I'm not talking about me. I think so long as we are insulated from the trauma, we remain docile. But if that trauma ever came to our doorsteps, one or two things will happen. We'll be so traumatized that we can't act, or we will be so infuriated that we will act and maybe even act alone, unorganized in a fashion that is quickly put down, never be a revolutionary of one. But we have so many people in this country that are isolated and alienated and sitting in different pockets of their own personal safety and comfort, like I am right now. And man, when I tell you, 200,000 people, 100,000 should have been enough. 80,000 should have been enough. 50,000 should have been enough. But the rulers of our government, the ruling elite, the oligarchs, the principalities, they've seen that they can get away with 1,000 deaths a day. They've seen that they can get away with 200,000 deaths. And they can do so and still make their own quarterly profit margins. So why should they change anything that they do? I like that. Aaron said it's too abstract. It is. And I fear the reason I quarantine so hard is because I don't want it to become tangible for my family. And I beg people all the time, I'm like, please, you protect yourself, protect your family. Because I'm going to say something that's pretty obvious. But dead is permanent. Ain't no coming back from that. And so if we have to wait for it to become tangible and not abstract for us, that means that we've lost some people that are never coming back. When, if this government actually acted in any capacity efficiently, and when I say this government, I do mean this government, I mean both parties. I mean the rulers, I mean the oligarchs, I mean the ruling elite, I mean all of them. In Donald Trump, they found somebody who was such a effing moron that we ended up going with the herd mentality, herd immunity, because he refused to take it serious in December. You have politicians who knew about this in December who traded stocks and said nothing to us. That's why I say in any normal timeline, in any rational timeline, we would have marched to Washington and told every single one of them to get the hell out. But we didn't account for our ability to absorb trauma to the tune of 200,000 lives. Kelly Loeffler needs to be in jail. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Rich wants to know, is this a green screen or my backyard? No, this is a backyard. My kids were running around here yesterday. That's the other thing. The other thing is like people like me, like I got a family, I got kids. And so, of course, I'm going to do everything I can to work through the system. My first option is not going to be a revolution. But obviously, I understand the nature and the implications and have the capacity for that. But I got kids who are going to jump on this trampoline later on. I might fire up the grill. So if we can at least stop the hemorrhaging by getting rid of Donald Trump. And I'm sorry, everybody who's following me, I just want you to know, please understand. November 4th, no matter who wins, I got to turn all the same energy back on the Democrats. Now, right now, it's all on Donald Trump. And I'm doing that because I think it's the right thing to do, because I think Donald Trump is an existential threat. But I just want everybody to know that there is a holistic problem that Donald Trump exacerbates, which is why I'm focusing on Trump. There's a clear difference, even if it's just efficiency. So I don't buy into this thing that they're the same. because I do know for a fact that 150,000 people would be alive if not for Donald Trump. But when November 4th comes, no matter who wins, no matter who loses, the Democrats have to answer for their responsibility to this as well. Just so you know, I just want you to know that so that you're not shocked on November 4th. So you should decide now. Like, what I'm saying is unfollow me now if you can't handle me talking about the Democrats, because I'm only on, this is a, what's it called when you have a peace treaty? This is an armistice. This is an armistice until we get rid of Donald Trump. I don't even know what time it is. My cell phone still says 9:41. It's 4:15. Jesus Christ. Hour and a half streaming. Jesus. And you guys still listen to me? You guys are still listening to me. If y'all are still here, I'll still go. Let's go. Do me a favor. Click the like, share, subscribe button. Do the cross-pollination. If you're on Facebook, go follow me on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, go follow me on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Cross-pollinate. Follow me at Benjamin P. Dixon on Twitter. Twitch.tv, Benjamin P. Dixon. I really would like to have everybody on Twitch so that when I do these streams, I would do them exclusively on Twitch because that's what Twitch is for. But I kind of just got like really, really addicted to this, and I'm like, okay, I got to keep doing this. Let me find some really good tweets. Sometimes I just like talking about tweets. Y'all hear the wind? Y'all see why I come out here every day for an hour or two? I come out here every day. When I'm done with my work, I come out here every day and I just sit and I either read the stories for the next day, sip on coffee, and just kind of enjoy the solitude. A real big thing that I'm really, really big about. If you want to know, I did this on Twitch. So Twitch people, y'all be patient with me. I know you already heard this. The reason I am where I am politically, I consider myself a socialist. My communist friends consider me a neoliberal. My neoliberal friends consider me a communist. My conservative friends, we don't talk, well, we do talk politics, but we don't talk often enough for them to have an opinion of me. Other than they think I'm just, they call me crazy. I don't know which category I fall into, but this is the point. The point is, I fight for what I fight for because I know without a shadow of a doubt that we in this country alone, we generate enough wealth. I want to be clear about something. You generate enough wealth. I don't care if you make $2.15 an hour as a waiter and tips or a waitress. Your labor, your consumption, your taxes, your government state fees, penalties, your participation, just the mere fact that you are participating in this economy, we collectively, you as an individual and us collectively generate the wealth. All right, let's be clear about that. There's not a billionaire who has made their billions without us. That's why they keep pushing us to go back to work like normal. That's why they keep pushing kids back into schools, because they need us to continue participating at the same level that we've been participating. They need us to consume at the same levels. They need us to give us our labor at the same level. They need us to drive on the highway so that we can get tickets and pay those fines and penalties at the same level. They all need us to actively participate in this system at the same level because they don't have shit without us. And all of us together collectively create enough wealth to ensure that there's not a single person on the face of this entire planet who should not have a place to live, who should not have running clean water, who should not have food to eat, who should not have education, who should not have health care as a baseline, as simple as us breathing. We have millions of vacant homes in this country. We have a homeless, unhoused population between 500 and 600,000, probably higher now because of COVID-19. Certainly higher now because of COVID-19. Homelessness is a policy choice. When we say vacant homes, we're not talking about landlords who can't find renters, which is a whole different conversation that you should talk to my friend Mao about. We're talking about bank-owned, bank-seized properties that banks are sitting on, period. So homelessness is a policy choice. Hunger is a policy choice. Do you know how much food we have thrown away during this pandemic because our levels of consumption have gone down across the board, including our eating? Millions of pounds. Enough food to make sure that everybody has some food. Enough food. Education has been free. College has been free in Germany, I believe, since after the end of the Second World War. I may have that date wrong, but it's been free for at least, I believe, 60 or 70 years. Healthcare in the UK, and when we say free, it is taxpayer subsidized. We are paying for it with our taxes, so it's technically not free, but it's free in the sense that you don't have to come out of pocket to go see a doctor in the UK. And I know for a fact that that happened in 1949, the same year that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was on the top 10 pop charts. Y'all, people in the UK have been able to see a doctor without coming out of their pocket since Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was a brand new song topping the charts. And here we are in the United States of America, and you can't go see a doctor because you missed the cutoff for Obamacare because you couldn't afford Obamacare. We generate enough wealth between your labor, your consumption, your participation, just the fact that you actively participate in it. I don't care if you bring home $10,000 a year after taxes. They get some of your taxes. They get your consumption. They get your debt. Your debt. Your debt. They're going to make their money. They even capitalize off your debt. And so our disposition, the way I am, the reason I am the way I am, the reason I demand all the things that I demand, the reason I don't fit neatly into anybody's category is because I firmly believe that we create enough with what the system that we have right now so that everybody can have enough. But instead of having a system where everyone can have enough, we have a system where only a few have everything. So if that makes me, whatever it makes me in your eyes, I don't care. I know it's right. Call me a socialist? Fine. It's right. Call me a communist? Fine. It's right. What I'm saying is right. Is that they don't have anything without us. But what they have designed is a system that takes everything from us and gives us nothing. Hour and 39 minutes. I think that's enough. My wife is looking out here. What's up? Everything good? You want me to come cook dinner? All right, y'all. I have been out here for a long time. I don't think I'm gonna do it this long every day, but I will do a stream every day on Twitch. There's guaranteed to be a stream every day on Twitch. If the sun is out, it will be outside. If it's not out, I might do it in my garage. I just want to do it in chill spots. Twitch.tv/Benjamin P. Dixon. Follow me over there, and I think I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Oh, like, share, subscribe, wherever you are. Share it, all that stuff. You know what to do. See you later.